Welcome to my PowerPoint about vouchers in Balatro. First, we start with the Overstock and Overstock Plus voucher. Almost all of these are going to go from left to right or top to bottom in cases of multiple vouchers. I'm just going to let that go now. All vouchers cost $10 and can be discounted, but we'll get to that later. Now, Overstock and Overstock Plus are actually pretty good vouchers. When you buy Overstock and Overstock Plus, they both give you one bonus card slot available in the shop. And while that doesn't sound like much, basically it gives you a 50% more efficient reroll and then a 33% more efficient reroll when you play the second voucher, or 100% total. I know that math doesn't sound like it adds up, but it does. And it makes your rerolls significantly more efficient. Rerolling in Balatro is like the name of the game. It's where most of your money is going to be spent. It's where you're going to be looking for all the cards that you are, trying to use throughout the game. So Overstock Plus and Overstock, gosh, I'm just going to call them by their base ones. Overstock voucher is incredibly valuable. There are a lot of times you're not going to pick it, right? If you don't, early game, it's not the most useful, right? It gains a lot more value if you have the reroll voucher or if you have Chaos the Clown to get one free reroll. So there are scenarios where it is better and worse than others, but all vouchers have the same downside of, hey, they have a big upfront cost of $10. So even though you can only get one voucher per ante, you get a new voucher per every time you beat the boss blind. So sometimes you're just going to get a bad voucher. And of course, when you do take a voucher, you're not going to get it again. Or if you do take a voucher, then you can get the upgraded version. So there are a bunch of weights. You gotta pick before which ones you're gonna choose. And overall, yeah, Overstock, it's decent. I don't have anything more to say about it than that. It's just pretty good. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Then we have clearance sale and liquidation. Clearance sale applies a 25% discount, and liquidation applies a 50% discount. So if you have a $4 card, it will go to $1. This effectively gives you 4 times as much money, which is really good. I think almost always you're taking these. I think even in Ante 1, there is an argument to be taking the clearance because, well, you're just going to be saving so much money that losing out on 2 interest for it is probably worth it, in my opinion. I don't think that anyone can really say that getting, cheap stuff is bad. There are a lot of these, so I'm not going to go on each of them too much. I stayed a lot on the Overstock because I was talking about vouchers in general, so let's move on. Then there's Hone and Glow Up. Hone makes it so that foil, holographic, and polychrome cards show up 2 times more often, and then Glow Up makes it 4 times more often. Rarely do I ever take this voucher. If you do take it, yeah, you could get, a polychrome blueprint, right? But more often, if you take it, you're going to be getting polychrome on garbage. And yeah, you can, get the polychrome cards of the good cards you want. Yeah, you can do that, but you still have to hit the good cards. And this doesn't really help that at all. I don't think that I take this ever. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I only have taken it, in scenarios where I have, infinite money, and I'm okay, well, whatever, who cares? I can just buy whatever I want, so I'll buy it. And that's not great. If something is only ever being bought in scenarios where you're okay, I have infinite money, it doesn't matter what I buy, then it must mean it's not very good. Because, yeah. So I wouldn't recommend buying this personally. If you have, Vampire, right, then sure. Actually, I don't even think Vampire can strip the foil, holographic, and polychrome off a card, so I might be lying. I think it's only enhancements, so I actually don't think this is worth anything at all. Scratch what I just said. Then there are the reroll vouchers, Reroll Surplus and Reroll Glut. Both of them make rerolls cost $2 less. That's huge. So if you get both of them, you're saving $4 every time you reroll. That's really good. There are, different scenarios where rerolling is great, right? Like I already talked about Overstock Plus, or I guess with Flash Card. Flash Card gains +2 mult every time you reroll. Yep. I don't know. Like I said, rerolls are the name of the game in Balatro, so getting cheaper rerolls is going to save you hundreds of dollars per run. And that's money that, you can spend on way more important things. I don't think that this is one you take on Ante 1, in my opinion. Unless you're I don't know, freaking got like a really good early money Joker like Golden Joker or Cloud9, and then you picked up some 9s or something, you know, so you have a lot of money rolling. But I still think that if you do find this one, you are pretty much always taking it. I don't think that that's like controversial to say, because it saves, I mean, if you re-roll 5 times, it paid for itself. Amazing, I know. Then there's Crystal Ball. Crystal Ball gives +1 consumable slot. That's pretty good. It negates the downside of Nebula deck, and just getting more consumables is overall pretty good. You can hold planets for an observatory. I mean, usually you're going to use Perkio for that, but that's not bad. Then there is Omen Globe, and Omen Globe makes it so Arcana packs can have Spectral cards in it 20% of the time. That's pretty fun. Everyone loves Spectral cards. They're really impactful. They can change the game. You know, Immolate can, like, win the game just in Ante 1. So everyone knows that Spectral cards are powerful. It's a 20% chance, if I am correct, for a card to be changed. I think it's a 20% chance per card. So you can get more Spectral cards in one pack, but it's not too likely. If you get like I think it's a jumbo pack is what has the most. It has 5 cards. Then you're like relatively likely to get one, but nah. Spectral cards, they're kind of like hit or miss, right? There are, of course, really good Spectral cards like Soul or like Talisman or, I can't remember. The one that gives you like Red Seal. Like, those ones are pretty good. But then there's a lot of bad ones. Ones that, you know, like Hex. I mean, Hex is okay if you get it like right away. You know, you can polychrome a Joker, but it destroys all your other Jokers, so it's not the best thing ever. And then, you know, you can add a lot of garbage to your deck with the Spectral cards as well. I definitely would pick these up pretty consistently, I think, because having more consumable slots is always just nice, and getting Omen Globe can be really strong, right? Again, because, legendary cards from Soul are obviously great, but I think that this is probably one of the lower priority vouchers, in my opinion, and I don't get it very often unless I, am, in a situation where I'm like, hey, I have a lot of, blue seals in my deck, and I want more consumable slots, or again, if you have like an observatory, it's really good there. Speaking of observatory, we have Telescope and Observatory. Telescope makes it so when you open a Celestial pack, it will give you a planet that is for your highest poker hand. So if you're playing a straight build, you play 10 straights, you get Telescope, you open a pack, you'll get a Saturn guaranteed. And that'll happen forever, right? And then Observatory gives you times 1.5 molt for each planet you're holding that matches your poker hand. I've spoken about it before about how Perkio is really, really good with Observatory because you get infinite of whatever planet you're holding.
That's a lot of multipliers.
Multiplying a multiplier is exponential, right? So if you have 10 of them, it's 0.5 or 1.5 to the 10th. That's a lot of mult. So, I mean, Observatory is really, really, really strong in the right scenarios. I think that you're always taking Telescope if it's offered to you, in my opinion. Maybe not on Ante 1, right? Because Ante 1, typically, you're not going to buy vouchers overall, is what I find. At higher stakes and all that. But I do think if you get, Telescope at, almost any other point in time, you're really happy to take it. You can start scaling really quickly, because planets scale very well. Getting chips from planets is nice because you don't really have Jokers that match chip scaling from planets. So it's pretty goddamn good, I do have to say. And then obviously, I've harped on Observatory 3 times now. It's just a really good voucher, and if you have the setup for it, you should take it. It just feels really good. Even if you don't have that good of a setup for it, if you just have 3 consumable slots that are all whatever planet, whatever hand you're playing, then you get 1.5 to the third of times your molt, which is huge. It is a huge multiplier because multiplying multiple times is really good. I know, right? Then we have a couple vouchers. I put these together. Grabber and Nacho Tong both give +1 hand per round, while Wasteful and Recyclomancy both give +1 discard per round. Getting hands is very good, right? There's a lot of builds that like having multiple hands to play more. Pair builds typically are playing multiple hands, right? And then you can, or if you have an obelisk build, you're going to be playing a lot of hands. While on the discard side, I mean, discards are good. The more discards you have, the more likely you are to hit straights, or my personal favorite Joker in the entire game, Yorick, gets scaled a lot faster when you have a lot of discards. I'm gonna be real with you. I love Yorick. I think that every single time I have Yorick, my run just becomes happier. I love seeing his goofy face. He's my favorite. Overall, though, I think that you're taking these almost always, especially the hand, right? When it comes to like wasteful, you probably aren't going to take it on like the first or second ante, in my opinion. But when it comes to hands, right? Hands are money. So if you take it and it costs $10 and you just play 10 rounds and you still have like one hand left over, at least, I mean, it would always be the one hand because you got it from that. 10 rounds and it'll pay for itself. That's great, right? Like, it's not amazing, right? Don't get me wrong, but it still is useful. That's like 3.3 antes and 1 round to pay for itself. Not including the fact that playing hands gets you more chip scores, or, there's... I'm trying to think. There's a Green Deck. Green Deck loves having more hands and more discards, actually, because you get more money from that. Green Deck gets $2 per hand not played. So there's amazing there. I mean, like, if you... this one's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, if you've played Balatro, obviously these are good, right? I don't think that that's out of the ordinary for me to say personally. So let's just move on. And then we look at Tarot Merchant, Tarot Tycoon, Planet Merchant, and Planet Tycoon. They make their respective tarots and planets appear 2 and 4 times more likely in the shop. I don't like these very much. I think that of them, the tarot one is probably better because, like, in the late game, right, you're gonna probably want tarots to get more money or to, deck fix or whatever. And then the planet one's just like, Like, I don't think I think I would rarely ever take these until I get to, like, late antes, like 6 or 7 is when I would ever take any of these. I would never take them in the early game because jokers are just better to find, like, a really good joker than to find, like, this many tarots and this many planets and ruin your pool, in my opinion. Obviously, when you get to, like, ante 6, 7, 8, tarots probably are going to be better, so you can, like, fix your deck and make it so you're always getting what you want. So you can get, like, golden cards or steel cards or death to get all the face cards you want, or to set them all to whatever your flush is, or etc., right? So there is that, but, like, I mean, I just don't ever take these. I don't really want to take them. They kind of just, like, dilute the pool, in my opinion, and I just rarely ever take them. Like I said, I'm only ever taking Tarot Merchant at best, and that's not even often. Then there's Seed Money and Money Tree. Seed Money raises the interest from 5 to 10, and then Money Tree from 10 to 20. So that means your interest, if you have... Now you want to be holding $50 to get max value from your seed money, or $100 from your money tree. Do note that Green Deck gets no interest, so don't buy these on Green Deck. The thing about seed money is that unless you're holding $30 or more, it's not worth buying, in my opinion. So if it were to put you under 30, like, say, even to 29, it would be a waste of money. IMO. A lot of people get baited to buy this in, like, early antes for no reason at all. At all. Because it just doesn't do anything on, like, ante 1 and 2. Because you're not going to have $50. If you do have $50, damn, well, sure, yeah, maybe you take it. But if you have $50, it's likely you have a better money generation option, and you'd rather just spend this, like, $10 on something else. Yeah, it pays for itself in 2 rounds if you are holding $50, so it's not bad by any means, but it's like, just a big meh. Money Tree, of course, right? I mean, Money Trees kind of win more. It's really win more in a lot of scenarios, because, again, it maxes out if you're holding $100, and then it pays for itself in 1 round, because, the interest goes up to 20, right? So it's going to pay for itself in 1 round, but, like, it just feels really win more. Again, if you have that much money, usually you don't need that much more money. Like, I know that sounds weird, but, like, if you have that much money, that means you're able to generate that money. If you're already generating that money, you don't need to generate even more. It just doesn't really do much for you, right? Compared to spending it on, like, valuable jokers or tarot cards, etc., right? Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's really strong in the mid game, and it's, like, pretty good in the late game, but gosh, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people be like, why didn't you buy a seed money on ante 1? Huh? It's completely useless. And if anything, it will just make it so I don't get my interest in the first place. SMH my head. Then we have the blank voucher and the negative voucher. Blank voucher does nothing. It acts as all vouchers do and allows you to buy the upgraded version of it, which is the antimatter. And antimatter gives you +1 Joker slot, which is actually very good. So effectively, for $20, you're getting +1 Joker slot. I'd say that's pretty fair. I do have to say, I don't think you ever buy blank voucher if it shows up in like anti 1, 2, maybe even 3. I think that buying it is completely trolling because it just does nothing, right? And that's $10 down the drain they can use to scale or to, reroll or to just do better things. Of course, though, like, if you do buy it and you do get antimatter, that's really good, right? And no one's going to tell you that having another Joker slot is bad. It makes it so you can go even further into the game so that you're more likely to win on anti-8. And, I mean, that's the whole point, right, is just beating anti-8. So having an extra Joker slot really makes that easy, because sometimes you just take, like, hey, this is just a solid Joker, and it will just help. It doesn't even have to scale super well or anything. And just having it there, very useful. There's so many of these. There's Magic Trick. Magic Trick allows playing cards to be bought in the shop, and Illusion allows them to have enhancements, additions, or seals. Seals are bugged right now. I wrote it right there. I'm going to be for real. Unless you have hologram, I don't know why you'd ever take this. I mean, you could do it for blue Joker in the same way as hologram, but, like, this is not very good. Especially the fact that Illusion is bugged and it doesn't work, and seals don't show up with it. If seals showed up with it, it'd be like, okay, maybe you'd have a reason, but, like, not. There's no reason to do it now. I'm going to be real. I actually never take this. I actively avoid it. It's just so bad. I forgot to mention this on the blank slide, the blank voucher slide, but if you buy every single voucher, then the only vouchers that will show up are blank vouchers. I just think that's a funny little tidbit. Then there's a hieroglyph and petroglyph. They give you -1 anti. I somehow missed out right there. But for -1 hand and -1 discard. Of course, you always start with hieroglyph. This is really powerful in, like, the mid game, right? If you have, like, a run that's kind of rolling, you can get it a lot more powerful because you're basically have 1 extra ante to do whatever you want. Losing out on 1 hand can matter, right? It's going to lose you some money, and if you're playing, like, a multi-hand build, like I mentioned before, then losing 1 hand is definitely bad, but there is always the world it gets offset, again, by just picking up Grabber or picking up Juggler, I think he's called. No, Juggler's +1 hand size, sorry. Anyway, still, there's not. You can counteract losing 1 hand pretty easily. It's not the end of the world. Losing 1 discard is arguably worse, in my opinion, because discards are super valuable, especially with Yorick, but they're just super valuable to get what you need, right? You want to get your straights, you want to get 4 of kinds, you want to get high card, etc., whatever, right? Having discards helps you get what you are looking for a lot easier than having hands. So losing that's definitely worse, and that's probably why it is the second one. Overall, though, like, the main use case for these, in my opinion, is if you're having a really hard run, you're barely beating the boss blinds, you can take this to get a little bit of reprieve, you get more money, you get more shops, you get more opportunities to do basically anything, you get more time to scale if you have scaling jokers. So it's best used in that scenario. If you're already winning, I don't think this is worth taking. It's kind of like a win more situation, and win more is not worth it, right? Because if you're already winning, I don't need to win more. I need to win when I'm losing, if you get what I mean. Then there's Director's Cut and Retcon. Director's Cut allows you to reroll the boss blind for $10, and Retcon lets you do it an unlimited amount of times. This is what I was talking about when I was saying that Chico isn't very good. You just buy a voucher, and vouchers don't take up Joker slots. Yeah. This is an amazing voucher, by the way. This is one of the best vouchers in the entire game because it can win you the game. Technically, it can make it so you don't lose, because, like, say you're playing an all face card build, right? And then you go to the plant, and, well, the plant makes it so all face cards are debuffed. Well, damn, I can't use any of my cards, so let's re-roll it. And then I hit, I don't know, the mouth, or the tooth, or needle, or, water, or anything like that, right? Ones that don't affect your strategy. You're really happy for $10 because your run just isn't over, and that's really good. Make it so you aren't just ruined by a boss blind is pretty important, because sometimes there are some boss blinds that will just mess you up, right? Like I said, if you're playing a face build and you roll into the plant, you're just so pissed. Or if you're playing a two card, if you're playing a pair build and you roll into the Mystic, I think it's called, where you have to play 5 cards, you're probably really pissed about that, right? So getting the director's cut is amazing. Easily one of the best vouchers in the entire game. I think that, like, again, obviously you're not picking it on like Ante 1, 2, maybe even 3, but you're definitely very, very happy to have it. And then last, but certainly not least, you get Paintbrush and Palette. Both of them give you +1 hand size. That's just amazing. +1 hand size makes it so you can get your poker hand easier, so you can have more room for steel cards, or for blue seals, or, you know, for kings when you're playing with Baron, etc. There's a million different use cases for +1 hand size, and it's just good. Again, don't take it on ante 1, 2, or 3, most likely, blah, 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 you know, waste of money, etc. But in the late game, this one's just so amazing. You know, you're going to have a lot of tarot cards, so you can, you know, typically just have +1 hand size and say, hey, I have the chariot, so I'm just going to make something steel just for fun. And that's not a bad use case of it, right? Just having Paintbrush and just being like, oh, I picked up a chariot in the shop. Now I get to get more steels to get more molt. That's really good. I think that Palette is worse than Paintbrush, right? Because 9 cards is a bigger jump than 10 cards, if you get what I'm trying to say. Obviously, they're both great, right? There's nothing like that. But if you are going to pass up anything, like, Palette's not that. It's just not as good as Paintbrush, because the first increase is always going to be better. But you guys get what I mean. Let me be real here. Overall, I think vouchers are really cool. I have a lot to say right now. So, I love Balatro. I'm so happy that I started doing this. I liked Marvel Rivals videos, but, like, I haven't talked about this yet, really. I like the Marvel Rivals videos, but, like, it didn't really click for me and the style of videos I was trying to make. Balatro fits perfectly. I love Yorick. I like having him just, like, there in the corner to have my little like, comment, subscribe thing, just because he's funny. There's so much fan art for this game. It's so amazing. I saw this on Twitter the other day, and I looked it up and found it on Reddit. This is a beautiful drawing by Joshua Sun there. He posted on the Reddit. You guys should go check it out. It's so nice. I love the legendary Jokers and how he made it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do have YouTube memberships. It's basically just a Twitch subscription. I letting you guys know. I want to have a bunch of Balatro emotes. It's kind of my plan. So yeah, if you guys do join, you get emotes. There's only a couple there right now, and I'm planning on replacing them. But if I hit, I think if I hit 50, because I have like 20 something now. If I hit 50, I can add more emotes, which is what I really, really want. So if you guys want to spam my comment section with emotes, you can join the membership. It's $1.99, I think, which is the lowest you could set it. Or there's a $4.99 one, like, which is more of a Twitch subscription. Either of them are fine. Let me rephrase that. Neither of them have any difference. It's just I made the $1.99 one because, again, I just want more emote slots. It's really fun to use emote slots. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.